There he still is, looking right through you.
Wait,
with his
only-
white eyes.
it's
The
only
body
an
below
8%?
is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Try again.
You crack open the ammonia ampoule and breathe in. The odor of death is still stronger. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
Step closer.
The man before you is naked,
Damn, dude.
but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Inspect the boots.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
These aren't just boots, are they? They're armor.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
What kind of armor is this exactly?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the hill. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
This material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
Lieutenant draws a line in the condensation on the ceramic with his index finger.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
How much are we talking about?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
Whoa.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real.
Wait, my yearly
unadjusted
pay
for rank.
is 5,500 real?
Not too much, yes.
Pathetic. I need to hustle more and hate less.
I have no idea what that means.
I don't either. What happened to the rest of it?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe he'll know something.
Maybe he was just wearing these boots and there's no rest of the armor?
No, he must have worn something precious underneath his clothes. They've removed all his clothes to get to it. They did not just strip him for the putrid rags.
Then where are these clothes? Have you seen any around?
Someone could have cleaned the yard, but that's a question for the red hat thing.
I hear you, cop, talking shit about the Kuno. Come here and say it to Kuno's face.
You Kuno!
You wanna fuck me, huh? You wanna fuck the Kuno?
Oh, God. What if they told him to strip before they hung him to demean him?
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fair.
What? Are you trying to ignore me now, fuckface?
Kuno, this boots shit is super boring and the guy's a total vitupaz.
How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
Initial report?
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
It's pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Knock on the boot.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
Sounds fragile.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint Organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether.
Cool.
Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
What does this remind me of?
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like.
Run your fingers over the lines.
The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice. The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50, 100, 1000.
Looks like there's a serial number on the right sabaton.
Good. Can you read it to me?
He tips the drying ballpoint of his pen on his tongue. Dips. Dips.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
Pull the boot off.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Grab the boot under your arm.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
Stop!
Lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm.
Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Lieutenant, you seem distressed. Why?
You're about to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
I'm gonna pull his head off, right?
Yes, that's what I said. You'll compromise the coroner's case if you do. So please, don't.
Indeed, from this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied
Mr. Ryu.
his muscles.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot?
Are we not detectives? There may be some clues inside the boot.
How many clues do you need? You already found a number. Besides, there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around.
Sounds like a plan.
The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
What's gonna happen to the boots then?
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
Back off and look at the corpse.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His
Inspector.
torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Inspect the belt.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow,
Hey, Big Bear.
hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
Don't ask me how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting cargo.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently this is the reinforced kind for air transport. My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
We're assuming the dock workers from the harbor did it?
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
My past has undergone total annihilation. Nothing remains. My mother, the love of my life, certainly not a briefing.
Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get.
They sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
How did they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
Did they climb up using the kid's ladder?
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
Back off and look at the corpse.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt,
Look at the tattoos.
limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars.
What will mine be marked by?
Alcohol and heartbreak.
Nice. Is this a map of the night sky?
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great Century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you. The thought dissipates, and you feel as though you were only half right.
I'm missing something here.
So am I.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
What's that?
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Griffin says, have you named your new son yet? We're thinking Asher. Yeah.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
Produces 2 metal-capped ampoules and clicks them into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then,
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
the lieutenant says and shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. Cool machine.
Yes. It is pretty cool, isn't it?
What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
He hands you the piece of rolled-up photo paper. It's no larger than a pack of cigarettes.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
Yes, this is my first playthrough. I played this game once, but I only played it for about 3 or 4 hours, because I wasn't able to read everything, because this game is a huge amount of reading. But this is going to be a full playthrough done over the probably like here and there throughout the month. Yeah.
You've acquired an interactable item.
Oh.
Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Look him in the eye.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there.
Wow.
Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Oh. Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone
Where have you gone?
into the wild pale yonder.
Where's that?
In the past, way out west.
I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are now, but who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Cohh.
Hobo? What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your
Black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
imagination.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you! Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
He loves those.
I love questions so much.
Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Yeah, give me more. Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, copperoony Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Rooney is obviously not who I am.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
I feel like I've been getting a lot of Harry lately.
You might be onto something there.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, brother Cohh. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
Nani?
Looking at my face, motionless, looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Maybe this will lead me to something? Something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous?
Ha!
The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. The face rotates before you slowly.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
I hate you. You stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
A baby affected with harlequinism.
You sure wrinkled out of that one, Coppolini.
Enough.
Come back later, Cohh. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Okay. Squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
Observe.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
His face and his hands are pink, thighs too.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
Relax your eyes.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he was upright after death. His hands and feet and neck are discolored.
Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
Could it be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
I'm relatively certain that he's dead.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Totally dead.
You checked his pulse. Totally. Deady dead, dead.
Dabadoob doob dead.
He says without a hint of melody. Not one muscle in his face moves. Something is coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet.
Nice.
Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he saying?
Talking about shit.
No. We got lucky.
Did we? I don't feel lucky.
He's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
Kunoese. Back off and catch your breath.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
So how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Step back and have another look first.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
I have something I need to know, corpse man.
Of course.
Okay, we're done
You
here.
have come back late.
Okay. Take a look here. Can we talk to you?
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Take one step closer.
Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
Just want to ask you some questions.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
You there, behind the fence.
You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not here, pig. You're not seeing this.
What?
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence.
Okay.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
What are those strange words you use, girl?
I come from the woods, Guttavitu. You don't want to go there with me. You don't want to see what I've seen.
Okay. One sec, guys. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 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 There we go.
Don't be traumatizing her! Get the fuck out of here!
Okay, so Kuno's not gonna let that happen. Let's talk to you again, maybe? Let's talk to Kim.
Yes?
Tell me about the case.
What do you want to know?
Anything?
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember.
Brief, yeah, that sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM emergencies desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate.
Wow, 4 days?
During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Does the briefing say who the victim was?
A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth.
Okay. Why do we know anything about the caller?
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters.
Okay.
The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Okay. I understand everything now.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Would you say this is a mysterious case?
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why not?
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
I was thinking something otherworldly might be involved. You know, something supernatural.
I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not?
Why not?
Because it's not part of reality.
So desperately mundane. You need to funk this case up. There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational,
We gotta funk
too
this up,
morally
chat.
complex. You should convince him.
If we're from different precincts, Why are we on the same case?
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
What do you mean?
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it.
I don't remember being in on anything.
That's good.
You know what I'm in on? Retrograde amnesia.
Better still than an imbecile cop-off.
Cop-off?
It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim.
You should tell me now. This seems relevant.
Later. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
Let's make sure this is good.
You mean like a brief? Do you want me
No,
to
we
brief? There's no reason to wing anything. 3 days ago,
Okay.
during that time,
Mega
the victim
cool. I've
had
heard
been
enough.
stripped. Okay then.
Mega cool.
Was there good?
Convince Kim there's a sexy dark mystery twist in the case. Engage.
Only banal things strike you. At the core, you're a very banal person with a very small soul. One you should be ashamed of. It's no wonder the soft one doesn't want it back. It was right to abandon you.
I want to talk to you about you.
Me?
Yes, you.
I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
We'll work better together if we have more rapport.
That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
Wearing glasses.
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this. But you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
No, I don't. Glasses are cool, I guess.
Are they? They're mostly just cumbersome.
You could use a good, normal pair yourself.
You don't look like other people around here.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
What's Seoul?
It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
Seoul is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some would even say mysterious.
You're only making it sound uninteresting. I still want to know more about Seoul.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular Revacholière.
Tell me a secret about yourself.
No.
Ask again.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow.
What's happening to me?
Something the matter, detective?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet in his hands.
Give up. There's nothing you can do.
The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
You ever talk with yourself?
What do you mean?
You know, when you're thinking, do you ever have, like, conversations with, like, your brain?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old school. His concerns are material and extrinsic. But this isn't an old school case.
So how do you, tap the side of your head?
What? Think? I do most of my work inside my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages.
Good time to hydrate, homies. Let's do it.
We all have our different mediums. His is written. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system. You're special.
That's all for now.
Good. Let's change the subject.
I think you should know that I can't remember anything.
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
I really don't remember anything. There was drinking involved.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
I'm afraid this is a medical situation. What's wrong with my personal affairs?
Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage
It started
as its
raining?
chain of command.
Oh, cool.
Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
Cohh is still here. Dude, now that this is fully narrated, I plan on enjoying every bit of this game. This has so far been an absolute joy, and I will probably be exploring most, if not all, of this game. Yeah. What should I concentrate on?
Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
But I'm completely lacking in basic... Okay, will this loop it around? Can you help me?
Fine. We should get through this day first.
Okay.
Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
Cool. I'm afraid this is a medical situation.
Really? You look fine to me.
I'm taking serious, unbelievable damage here. I saw myself in the mirror and I had no idea who I was.
This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
It's not psychological. Some sort of major brain damage has occurred on an unprecedented scale.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's lazaret. Was there anything else you wanted?
You seem to be following me.
Excuse me?